Hi, I'm Libby Montreal, and every year I get to visit with 4-Hers from around Minnesota at the State Fair. It's so much fun, and we learn all about 4-H and how it gives kids the confidence, skills, and experiences they need to become successful adults. In this show, we'll hear from several fantastic 4-H youth, alumni, and volunteers who all graciously took time out of their busy day at the fair to tell us about their projects, activities, and 4-H experiences. There's so much to do and see at the fair, I can't wait for us to get started.
.4-H at the Minnesota State Fair is made possible by Minnesota Farmers Union, standing for agriculture, fighting for farmers. On the web at mfu.org. Minnesota Corn Growers Association, since 1978, dedicated to identifying and promoting opportunities for Minnesota corn farmers while enhancing quality of life. For nearly 90 years, Minnesota Farm Bureau has been working to preserve, promote, and strengthen American agriculture and share in the vision of strength and vitality for our communities. GNP Company, makers of locally raised premium quality Golden Plump and Just Bare chicken products, and proud sponsor of Brighter Futures, dedicated to healthy food, families, and farms in Minnesota since 1926. Southwest Minnesota State University School of Agriculture, growing the future of ag. SMSU, where you belong. And the generous support of the sustaining members of Pioneer Public Television.
.4-H has a long heritage in agriculture, and it's still an important part of the organization's focus today. 4-Hers bring nearly 3,000 animals to the State Fair each year, and you can see them all in the livestock barns down at the south side of the fairgrounds. This year I took a little trek through the swine barn. I learned a little about the pork industry, got a new hat, and I even made a couple new four-footed friends. Then, of course, I found some 4-Hers to talk to. These girls are from Otter Tail County, and I was excited to hear what they had to say. I was curious, since not everyone lives on a hog farm, where exactly do some 4-Hers get their pigs from? Hannah Cordes, it turns out, supplies some of her fellow 4-Hers with swine to show. I asked her to tell us about her family's hog operation.
We have about 10 head of sows, and we breed twice a year.
Okay.
One time for the year, we breed more for market animals, for local people to come and buy high-quality meat. And then the second part of the year, we sell our piglets to local 4-H members who maybe don't have a big enough setup for raising pigs. We sell them to them so that they can raise them in like a shed, whatever they've got. They can raise them on their own without having to start up a whole hog operation.
So just for the experience, right?
Yes.
So have you had some of those 4-Hers decide to stick with the project and dive deeper in?
Yes, we have many people who come back year after year. I suppose we have one customer who has probably been coming back like 8 years maybe.
Wow. Right, and how many years have you been in 4-H?
I've been in 4-H for 10 years now.
Wow, you are about at the end.
Yep.
Cool.
One more year.
Cool. So with that, I have to ask you, what do you think, after 10 years of being in 4-H, what has been the most impactful thing? What's been the most important part about 4-H? What has it taught you?
4-H has taught me a few things, mainly responsibility, learning how to better myself, and a big one is leadership. I've been the 4-H president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, you name it, I've done it.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Glad to meet you, and I can't wait to see a little bit more about what you guys are doing in the barns. I wanted to learn more about how 4-Hers can get animals to show, so I asked one of Hannah's friends, Carly Davenport.
You can either lease a pig or you can buy a pig. Okay. If you lease a pig, you can buy it or lease it for like $1, and then you just pay it back. so you're not out anything. So you could live in town and still show.
That's cool. So have you leased or have you bought?
I buy.
Okay, so you have taken the pig from Hannah. We met Hannah.
Yep.
So this leasing program, can anybody be part of it?
Anybody can, yep, as long
So-
as you're in 4-H.
What if you don't live on a farm?
You can still show
Okay, so then people, if you want to lease an animal, you just go out to the farm
and work with it. Yep.
work with the animal out there. And then as far as helping these folks, let's say that someone has had zero exposure at all to showing an animal. How do they get help?
Well, if you lease it, usually the person that has the animal knows. You can also ask other 4-Hers in your club. They will help you. It's a lot of getting to know the animal, especially pigs. You have to get to know them before you start to walk them and stuff. But it's a breeze once you get it.
Isn't it fun? So
Yes.
these farm animals are actually very, very much like your everyday pets.
Yes.
So as far as your projects, how long have you been in 4-H?
I have been in 4-H for 12 years.
12 years. And so do you just do swine?
I also show goats.
You are a goat girl?
I am a goat girl.
Bought into swine.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
So that doesn't happen very often. So tell us, so 12 years, why did you choose to get into swine?
My dad has always loved pigs, and my brother started showing pigs. My dad convinced him, and after my brother showed for 2 years, I decided I wanted to start because they're so big with personalities. Like, they love, each one of them is different, you know?
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And it's been a pleasure to get to know you, and I'm so excited that people can actually find out that they can rent.
Yes.
They can rent a farm animal
They
for
sure
a summer.
can.
That's
Yes.
so cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
On the wall, I saw the girls had what looked like a game set up. Of course, I had to play it. I found some teammates, and we did our best to answer the questions posed by 13-year-old McKenna Kenyon. Outside, I asked her to tell me a bit about what we were playing.
We were doing a pig popping palooza, and how we do it is you have to answer a question, and if you answer it wrong or right, you pop a balloon, and we have little numbers inside, and whatever number you get relates to a level of prize. So we have 3 levels of prizes.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm going to go play again. Do you mind?
Because
I didn't do so well the first time.
You can
So,
do it again.
Will you help me?
Yeah.
I learned that Pig Popping Palooza was part of a larger educational initiative at the State Fair. Tyler McAllister is a peer mentor for speaking up for animal agriculture. I asked him what these games were all about.
It's just different little interactive deals to get the public involved and get them asking good questions about our farms, what we do, where their food comes from, and also gives them an opportunity to ask questions, the tougher questions. Recently, I heard that 60% of Minnesota people have not met a farmer or talked to a farmer.
Wow.
So this is just an activity that we've came up with to help get our word out and interact with the public a little bit more, and also help young 4-Hers as far as communication and leadership. So the primary function of it is to get the kids involved, and just overall the teamwork and the participation are probably the big key factors of it.
Well, thank you so much for all your work. Your work is priceless. So thank you so much for helping educate the public about animal agriculture and 4-H. And please keep it up. We need more people like you out there.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. After I got done talking with Tyler, I realized I was getting hungry, and I swore I could smell something cooking. It turns out I wasn't imagining it. There really were a bunch of 4-Hers out grilling. This year at the State Fair, 4-Hers had a new contest to participate in. Working in teams of 3 to 4 members, the 4-Hers had to prepare a Minnesota-grown meat product that was nutritious and appealing, all in just 30 minutes. I didn't want to distract any of the teams, so I moved on to the beef barn, where I came across Zola Olson and her project animal Ash. I found out that Zola was able to purchase Ash through a special legacy fund in Chippewa County, established in the memory of Ron Oschendorf. I asked Zola to tell me about it. So you can get a grant to purchase a beef animal?
Well, and any species.
Any species. Now that you have been a recipient of the funds, I understand that the legacy program is in honor of a past 4-H'er that's left us. Is that correct?
Yep.
And so now you are responsible for helping pay it forward, is that right?
Yeah.
How does that work on your end now?
So I was thinking I'm going to breed my heifer, and then after we're done breeding her, we were going to take her to market and then donate a quarter beef to their auction that they have yearly.
That's great. So far you've shown which other species?
I've shown goat,
Okay.
swine, horse, and now beef.
Cool. And so you've got 4 species under your belt.
Yep.
So what's your favorite out of the 4?
Probably the beef.
Probably the beef. What made you want to try beef?
I'm just trying to try everything out, just see which one I like.
Are you able to try it now in a different species?
Yeah, I mean, I could, but I'm just kind of hooked on cows now.
So you like beef? Okay,
Yeah.
well that's cool. That's very cool. So how old are you?
I'm 13.
And this is your
First year.
First year. Okay, so are you planning to go back and show beef again the next year and hopefully
Yeah.
return? How did you do this year?
This year I got 3rd in my regular class, and
Wow.
then I didn't do as well as I wanted to in the showmanship.
You know what? Showmanship is tough, especially for your first year.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So you've had a great year this year
Yep.
at State Fair. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here. And we're so happy that you have found a love for beef cattle. I'm an old dairy girl, so I get it. So welcome to the State Fair, and we'll see you here again next year.
You too.
Thanks. Talking with Zola, Carly, and Hannah shows us how 4-H prepares youth for dealing with adulthood. It's not something we always think about, but a livestock animal is a big investment, both in time and money. The skills that 4-Hers learn by taking care of and showing animals carry through to the rest of their lives, whether they work in agriculture or not. Tyler and McKenna showed us that 4-H encourages youth to use their communication skills to help educate the public about what they're doing and teaches young people that their voices really are just as important as adults. Back when we were at the swine barn, I had struck up a conversation with 2 young ladies running the Oink booth, where they were fielding questions people had and handing out those lovely pig ears. After finding out that they're both 4-H alumni, I just had to ask, where has 4-H taken them in life?
4-H has been really important to me, and honestly it helped me grow a lot through my younger years. So I'd say one of the most important things that it taught me was how to connect with others, whether that was when I was showing pigs or cattle or entering food preservation in the 4-H building. Just being able to learn from other people and then also hopefully teaching them something. And then going in, now I have the ability to go into the agricultural industry because I've met so many people.
Well, currently I am a student at the University of Minnesota studying agriculture, marketing and communications, and international agriculture. So I guess I do what I do because to me, I just want to share how awesome and important agriculture is to everybody's life. Whether it's in Nicaragua, where I was this last summer, or if it's at the State Fair. I just think it's something that everyone needs to be aware of, and no matter where you are in the world.
There's no doubt that 4-H creates passion in young people, and it really can help them discover what directions to go as they get older. 4-H alumnus Ben Nath has started a successful career in agriculture, and it all started with the projects he had growing up in 4-H. So you have gone through college, you've graduated, you've gone on in life. Tell me a little bit about how your experience in 4-H, how it's impacted the life that you live now.
So just growing up in 4-H and living on a farm, I always knew agriculture was something that I wanted to be in, wanted to do. I was going to be something in agriculture all through high school, and then kind of last minute I decided I wanted to go for phyto and health teaching. I did that for a couple of years at Southwest Minnesota State University. Kind of decided it wasn't for me. I just want to get back to that agriculture that I grew up around, and on the farm and both in 4-H and stuff. And from there I found out that, SMSU had an agronomy program. But once I started looking into it, I realized that I did like to garden, and I actually did some gardening projects in 4-H also, different vegetables and stuff. And I always liked that part, probably almost a little more than the animals.
Interesting.
Something I made a decision and stuck to it, and I haven't regretted it since. So.
Yeah, now you're in agronomy.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? Started as a 4-H project in gardening, turned into a life career.
Yep. Growing potatoes and peppers, and now I grow corn and soybeans and sugar beets. And
on a little bit bigger level.
Yeah, a little smaller, a little bigger garden, I guess, if you want to call it that. So.
Cool. So if you had anything to say to a kid considering joining 4-H, what would you say?
I'd say do it. I mean, I hope the parents are, get them involved. And it doesn't have to be much to start with, just anyway. I mean, the amount of kids, I always thought growing up 4-H was for the country kids, but there's so many city kids that are getting into it. And, they might find something they love on the agricultural side that they've just never been involved in. And
as simple as gardening, right?
Yeah, there's so many projects you can do. I mean, we obviously did the big livestock where you kind of need a farm and that, but garden, foods, crafts, all that stuff you can do. And
I'm so glad you were here today. This has been great to talk to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your fair, and I wish you all the best in your new job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. 4-H isn't beneficial just for youth. Anyone can be part of 4-H long into adulthood by becoming a volunteer or leader, and many do. However, not many are quite as dedicated as Rhoda Gust. So we are here with Rhoda Gust, and I am so thrilled to meet her. She has a storied history here at the Minnesota State Fair. Can you tell us a little bit more about who you are, where you're from, and your big record here at the State Fair?
Well, I'm Rhoda Gust. I'm from Roseau County, way up against the Canadian boundary. I've been coming here for 34 years chaperoning.
So 34 years you have volunteered your time to come all the way from Roseau to here. Yes. So every year, like what stands out to you as being memorable?
Well, what the kids have taught me. I mean, the kids have made me grow. Like they keep telling me how much I give into the 4-H program. Well, the truth is, the person I am today, a lot of it I owe to 4-H.
So you got involved in 4-H as a leader, your kids got involved in 4-H, and now your grandchildren. Yeah. How does that make you feel about leaving such a legacy for the future?
Well, I feel pretty great. I mean, I guess I haven't thought about it. It's just an automatic thing, come back every year, and I've just been, just something and the family understood that when State Fair came, like now it's Grandma, don't interfere, Grandma's off the State Fair,
Well, with the kids that are still coming, what would you say to them about 4-H and staying involved?
Well, 4-H motto is to learn by doing and having fun doing it. And that's very true. Like we're talking amongst ourselves as chaperones this year, about this purple ribbon. I find if a young person gets a red, it's almost more of a learning experience than the purple. If you start up at the top, you haven't learned as much as if you start up lower down. I'm not saying red, but a low blue or whatever. Yeah. And a lot of people said to me, well, how can you go with these kids? They load their steers and their sheep and their swine on a truck to be slaughtered. How can you do that? I said, you don't realize how much this child has learned by doing that. Life is not always easy. It isn't always fair.
Right.
But in 4-H, you win, you lose, you learn.
With those wise words from Rhoda in mind, I went off towards the other side of the fairgrounds where a familiar 78-year-old landmark of the State Fair stands tall over the crowds. Behind me is the 4-H building. You'll find a lot of 4-Hers hanging out there. Inside, there's amazing projects to look at, creative performances to watch, and much, much more. Don't forget to say hi to the ambassadors at the front door. One of my most prized memories from my 4-H experience was being a state 4-H ambassador, and I was so thrilled to be walking around the grounds and come across Rhoda, a state 4-H ambassador. And tell me a little bit about your role and your duty and what you do here at the fair.
So for me, at the 4-H, I do a lot of representing Hennepin County, being leaders to the young generation. Also, I'm a first generation for my family. So I basically am representing my family, friends and everybody else in my community.
Sounds like the 4-H pledge to me.
Yes.
Right? My family, my community,
And
the
my
country, and my world. Yes, exactly. So what got you into 4-H to begin with?
I was in kindergarten and I went to a suburb school where a lot of the kids were having cows and sheep and goats. So I was like, wait, I want to do these, but then I was like, I don't have animals. But then and I was like, there's other opportunities where you could sew, performing arts, photography. Because a lot of people think 4-H is only about animals, but basically it's more as in what you have in you could bring on the table.
So, and there's lots of different things like self-determined where you can actually create your own projects. So you're limitless as to what you can do. So you, as a first generation 4-H'er and now ambassador, and you've had 10 years in 4-H.
Yes.
What has 4-H meant to you? How has it changed you?
For me, 4-H changed me as in coming out of my comfort zone, as in telling more people in where now I'm in a community where not in the suburbs anymore. I'm in a community where I'm in urban 4-H. Yeah. So urban 4-H is more as in community-based, what's going on in your community. So I'm in the Franklin Library 4-H. Okay. And so this year we're bringing to the 4-H a danto, and danto is a Somali dance. Cool. So that's what we're performing, and we want people to understand our culture and other people's cultures.
Well, that sounds fun. Thank you, Rodo, for being with us today, and I hope you have a great year. Just to let you know, being an ambassador was one of my best experiences of my life. So I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
During the State Fair, there's a variety of performances held in the 4-H building, including the Arts In Show and Performing Arts Showcase. One performance in particular caught my eye, and everyone else's too. Juggler Aiden Oldenburg had the crowd cheering like crazy. I caught up with him after his performance to ask a few questions. And how long have you been juggling?
About 4 years now.
4 years. And how did you learn?
I was cleaning out my grandma's basement, and she had some tennis balls.
Yeah?
And so then afterwards, I just took the tennis balls and I just started trying to juggle, and I kept going at it, and then finally...
You taught yourself how to juggle?
Yes.
Well, here's the thing, Mr. Aiden. I don't know if you knew this or not, but one time I could juggle. I learned at 4-H camp when I was 4th grade.
Wow.
But I haven't juggled since then. So I want you to teach me how to do it. Can you do that? What kind of life skills do you think you've gained from 4-H? How has it helped you out?
Well, it's definitely made me feel a lot more confident through the years, because I've done performing arts for several years, and I've done demonstrations too, and so it helped me a lot with my self-confidence.
So did you enjoy doing it?
Yes.
Is this your first time up on stage?
This is actually my third time.
Third time on stage, because you didn't seem nervous at all.
Yeah, I was a little nervous.
Were you?
Yeah.
You didn't seem like it. Well, cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you for teaching me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great week at the fair. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All around the 4-H building, there are exhibits of all sorts showing the creativity and craftsmanship of 4-H'ers. And many 4-H youth aren't content to enter just one project area, as I learned by talking with this talented 4-H'er from Sibley County, Branston Peterson. And so, Branston, how many different projects are you in? I hear you're quite the busy guy.
I am. I've done shop, demonstrations. I do share the fun. I show beef cattle, swine, poultry. I've done arts and crafts before. I do food show, rocketry.
Wow, what's your favorite?
Beef cattle by far. I've shown beef cattle all my life, so I enjoy that the most.
What has 4-H meant to you and all those projects you've done? You're 16 now.
Yes, 4-H the most has meant to me new experiences and trying new things. I've met so many new friends through 4-H. If I wasn't in 4-H, I'd probably have not even half the friends I have right now. So.
Well, this is pretty gorgeous. Can you tell us more about this? Why did you choose this?
I decided to do this for school, actually, in our shop class. And so we had to choose between a couple projects from our shop teacher. Okay. And I decided this would look the best for me because I have all these plaques and stuff from 4-H, so I could put them in my display table.
Very cool. Branston, do you want to just show us a little bit about your table?
the different aspects or pieces of it, or why you did certain things in certain areas?
Sure. Well, so I put 2 inches deep for the display table, just so that gives me a little more room for more plaques and etc. I used the legs, I routed them together and using a 45-degree angle and biscuits and glued those together. That makes it look like one leg itself, and actually it's 8 legs.
Wow.
I used trim on the outside using some chamfers and 45-degree angles and a dado saw.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
And then when I was all done, I polyurethaned it and used golden pecan stain.
So are you going to keep building things, or is
I
that,
hope
is that
so,
a
yeah.
passion of yours?
I've done shop projects for a few years as well.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Your
Problem.
table is gorgeous.
Thank you.
And have fun at the fair with your newfound friends.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Before we close our show, there's one more person I talked to at the State Fair this year. Someone very near and dear to me, my mom, Olive Huff. If you'd like to hear our conversation, go to pioneer.org/4H to learn how our family got involved in 4-H and what it's meant to us. Branston, Aiden, Rodo, and all the others we talked to today showed us that 4-H is really about helping youth determine what they're passionate about and letting them use their talents and skills to serve their communities, families, and friends. 4-H isn't just about agriculture, it's about life.
Well, folks, here we are at the end of a long day at the State Fair. I hope you've had a good time and maybe you learned a little something about 4-H along the way. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think there's mulch over there with my name on it.
Visit pioneer.org/4H to watch this show and more. Learn more about 4-H online or by visiting your local University of Minnesota Extension and Outreach Center.
.4-H at the Minnesota State Fair is made possible by Minnesota Farmers Union, standing for agriculture, fighting for farmers. On the web at mfu.org. Minnesota Corn Growers Association, since 1978, dedicated to identifying and promoting opportunities for Minnesota corn farmers while enhancing quality of life. For nearly 90 years, Minnesota Farm Bureau has been working to preserve, promote, and strengthen American agriculture and share in the vision of strength and vitality for our communities. GNP Company, makers of locally raised premium quality Golden Plump and Just Bare chicken products, and proud sponsor of Brighter Futures, dedicated to healthy food, families, and farms in Minnesota since 1926. Southwest Minnesota State University School of Agriculture, growing the future of ag. SMSU, where you belong. And the generous support of the sustaining members of Pioneer Public Television.